So I kind of feel like when we first started, there was almost like a lack of guidance, right? We didn't have a lot of people giving us advice. It was almost the opposite. I feel like I would reach out with little to no efforts or avail of people steering me in those directions. I was like hungry for direction. Um, early days, there was a lot of pay to play. There was a lot of pay to get on this demo. Like I just felt like there was like everyone was just asking us for money that we didn't have because we were playing tiny bar shows or basement shows or whatever. It was all quite overwhelming um and confusing, not to have, I guess, guidance in any ways, navigating through all of that early on. But luckily, we did get help early on, and it was a really solid dude named Fabian, Fabian Pinetou. I don't know. He's French. He ran Inferno, and so he actually took us under his wing, and we had a very good relationship, and he was super helpful and encouraging. So I have like a positive experience, I guess, in that way. Once we got through the tunnel of being alone, we did find our first person that was like super, super encouraging and helpful to us. It's hard to know, you know what I mean? It's really hard to know. Sometimes I wonder, do we get weird, shitty attention because I am a girl? Do you know what I mean? I definitely don't want that. I don't want it to stand out in that way. When we started back in 2008, 2009, there were not that many heavy metal bands. We were mainly playing the punk circuit. And punk and metal kind of were like together because there weren't enough of each other to have their own scene, so it was super incestual. And most certainly there were not a lot of women in the bands that we were playing with when we would go on tour in the earlier days. Now it's more and more, and I would say, like we were talking about before, it's almost not an anomaly anymore. It's becoming quite normal, even to the point where it doesn't need to be pointed out. Like, why are we calling female basketball players? They're basketball players. Before, the female fronted metal category was so unique because it was rare. Now I feel like we can maybe like even make it, I don't know, but yeah, it's very, so many more women, so many awesome bands. And it's cool, and I feel like we all support each other, and that's the important thing too. I think the number one achievement is continuing to be an active band after all these years. Writing music isn't the hardest thing in the world. Anyone can write some lyrics, can doodly do. But keeping a group of people together is extremely difficult, and that takes a lot of, growing together. It takes a lot of communication, and it takes a lot of passion. And, so I would say that is like the number one achievement of the band, is just still doing what we enjoy to do. The second achievement, I guess, is continuing to create albums that I feel like just get better and better. Again, growth is my thing. It's my thing in my personal life. It's my thing in my musical life. I'm just all about continuing to learn and continuing to get better. And then, I guess personally for me, music wise, the festival that I organize, Metal Immortal Festival, we had it in 2019 for the first time. DIY, like just us doing this thing, not a lot of help. And it was awesome. We brought 8 other bands from all over the country, Razor from Canada. It was amazing. And it was literally the biggest thing I've ever organized. More people, more bands, more vendors, and everyone had a great time. So I'm doing it again this year, 2022. More than 3/4 of the bands have female musicians or vocalists, which is super important to me, to just have that presence there. So it's going to be awesome. Hopefully another success. And then I'm going to add that to the list. Aim for the sky, not the stars. Always have achievable goals so you can meet them and feel that success, feel that getting to the next level so that you can then move on and grow, right? I feel like when I was younger, I had these wild dreams. And although that's what kept my fire raging, I quickly came to terms with, my abilities and what I had to offer in my daily life. And you give what you can give, and as long as you're having fun, it's all that matters. Don't do it for the money.